Welcome, everybody, back to the CDN podcast. You're here with Chase Moskowitz, Daniel Almash, and Nick Bostico. Today, we have a pretty big topic that's been going around in the NFL. How reliable are running backs in the league? Obviously, the whole Saquon Barkley situation, it's been going a little bit shaky for him. Obviously, he was supposed to sign the other day at 4 p.m., did not sign a contract, so he will be playing for $10 million for 1 year under the Giants franchise tag. So my question to you guys is, running backs, they want to be noticed more in the league, but obviously their span during the NFL, it doesn't really last as long as people want them to. So how reliable are running backs in the NFL today?
I'm going to give that question to Dan because I don't really know the answer to that much.
Well, here's the thing. Running backs in the league, they're obviously important. They're unique. It's a unique position that, you need to master. But if you think about it in terms of contracts and money, they're not that reliable because, they're getting paid close to nothing. And I feel bad for guys like CMC, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Saquon, all of the top running backs in the league, Nick Chubb, for example. Yeah. Just all these top running backs in the league, they're not getting paid anything. And you see it on Twitter. It's almost like a group chat on Twitter. Reactions to Saquon and Josh Jacobs not signing contracts or not even getting offered close to what their value is at the tippy top.
They should be higher. They should get paid more.
Yes, they should be higher. And then Saquon tweeted at exactly 4 p.m. as soon as he denied the contract, it is what it is. But, he's humble, but I respect that out of a player who's got a very high caliber talent. But just, I feel bad for him.
Can I say something about Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
I think Saquon Barkley's being a baby about this.
Yes.
I think, he went on Twitter, he's like, it is what it is. You got an offer for over $20 million for a long-term deal, and you didn't take it. A lot of the reasons why players don't sign contracts like these, because at the time it could be a good contract for them now, but not a good contract in the future. But you're getting paid $20 million a year, and you're just denying it. And then you get to a point where now you're going to be playing under the franchise tag, and all of a sudden you're wondering, why are the Giants not giving me anything? They have thrown so much at this guy, and also not to mention that he was given an offer from the Giants in the middle of the season last season,
and denied it.
The Giants gave him so many options, and now he's acting like it's the Giants' fault.
No, but I do I give respect and credit for Joe Schoen and the front office and Sean Mara for standing their ground and not giving in to the Players Association.
Let me say something. I was going to say that. I agree with Dan because it is what it is, as Saquon says, because although I like Saquon a lot, Saquon's a top 5 running back in the league, no doubt about it.
Our offense is nothing without him.
But you got to realize the front office knows what to do. Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll, the front office. So if they know that it's right for Saquon to not play or play on the franchise tag, we have other running backs.
Eric Gray.
Maybe they're not as good as him, but that's why we develop them.
Eric Gray will be a top running back. He's definitely a third round.
And we have Isaiah Hodgins, so many other core offensive players that we didn't have for 3 or 4 years.
And we're gonna develop them.
And now Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback, arguably.
Even though he's a 72 overall in Madden.
That's my opinion. So yeah.
I think that's a very valid opinion. Another thing I want to talk about is Saquon Barkley. He recently went on a talk show, and he was saying in short terms, he basically said, if it comes to the point where I have to sit out for the season to show my value for the team, then it'll come to that point. Are you kidding me, dude?
You had an all-star season last year.
Don't act like you've been running the league for years now.
Injury.
He's been injured. He's torn his ACL. I think we can easily say that last year was his best season.
Besides
2018, last year was easily.
Well, that's because that was his only season that was fully healthy since 2018.
Exactly. That was his comeback year. But if you're gonna sit down and be saying if I have to sit out and prove why I'm the best player, everyone knows you're the best player on this team. Yeah. But if you're gonna go as far as sitting out the season to prove your value, I'm sorry, but that's a bitch move.
Then the other running backs are gonna get chances, and the offense will do just fine. I'm sure that they'll miss Saquon, but Eric Gray. And And the other
Eric Gray.
rookie running backs, we drafted a couple, right? Didn't we?
We drafted one, but Eric Gray is the one that should have been taken in the 3rd round, but we got him in the 5th round. That shows the value right there. And, Saquon, if he sits out, he's just the next Le'Veon Bell, but just a little bit more
Yeah,
talented.
he's destroying his career by the minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's going to follow into that path of Le'Veon Bell, like you mentioned. And I think, and even like, if he doesn't sign for a long-term contract next year, where do you guys think he's going to go? Because there's not really many options.
There's really not, but
I mean, maybe besides, I don't know, Minnesota, but
Minnesota. Does Baltimore have a running back?
Baltimore just signed Melvin Gordon, actually.
yeah, but Melvin Gordon's not
He's
really
not as good.
He's
Besides
deaf.
maybe, like,
He's
J.J.
deaf.
Dobbins, but-
Yeah.
He's not bad, but he's not as good as Saquon. Saquon, I see it on Twitter and Instagram. He is getting super jacked. Like he is, yes. Like his legs are just insane. Like he works out every day. He's just insane. I wanted. The only reason I was mad when he did climb the contract, one, because he's a good player, but two, I think he's gonna even have a better year than last year because of how the offseason work and abilities he has around him.
But how can you know that he's gonna have a good season if he just gets injured again?
Yeah, I
Because
know,
he's
but
been in
I'm
the
just
league
saying,
for
like,
5 years.
yeah.
3 out of the 5. Actually, like 3.5 out of the 5 years he's been injured. Because he was injured last year for a couple games. Like he's injury prone. It's every single freaking year.
My whole thing on Saquon Barkley is, as much as I feel like he should get a big contract, I feel like he's being a little bit negligent right now, and he is he's going into this path that I think is unbeneficial for him, whether he may know it or not. But I think he's being negligent, and I don't think this is going to be a good.
Let's talk about the other quarterbacks.
Yes, absolutely. Quarterbacks.
The running backs.
So here's my thing. Obviously, running backs, they want big contracts. People, they say it on Twitter and Instagram. A lot of running backs, they get franchise tagged, and it's just not really that great of a situation. You know what I'm saying? So, do you guys think that running backs should deserve equal or similar pay for contract as players like wide receivers?
No, because wide receivers, it's different positions and different. I feel like wide receivers are needed more than running backs. Honestly, it's more of a passing game than a running game in NFL, like in this current era. And I think that wide receivers are getting what they deserve. Running backs, I mean, I'm not gonna say they could get less or more, but
$17 million a year,
it's
insane.
still a lot of money, man.
I'm sorry, my thing on Saquon Barkley, I meant he's being ignorant.
Yeah.
Not negligent. Yeah. So Dan, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm agreeing with Chase here all the way. I mean, $17 million a year for a running back. I mean, I get CMC's getting paid that much, and he can run and he can also pass. We saw it last year. He could also catch the dang ball. That's what they're saying about Bijan. That's his, his position similarity. I mean, $17 million a year for a running back. In the future, that's going to be way too much for the salary cap and, the luxury tax of the NFL, even though it was just raised. But I just feel like, running backs, they shouldn't be getting paid more than a quarterback or a defensive tackle. Dexter Lawrence, he got paid $97 million, which he rightfully deserved. He
had a great season
the
last
best.
year.
I think he was the best defensive tackle in the league.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, he's top 3 or top 1.
Yeah, for a 335-pound man, he moves insanely
It's
fast.
it's known running backs, they don't really last long in the league. Wide receivers, they last much longer than
They're
them.
dime a dozen.
That's why we see a lot of Hall of Fame wide receivers, Hall of Fame quarterbacks,
And those
sure,
so
running
little
backs are
running
very
backs.
good too.
The only
they're not very known.
The only Hall of Fame running backs that are Jim Brown, Barry Sanders,
Maybe even Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
He went to too many teams.
Yes, he went to too many teams. If he stayed with the Vikings, he would be known as one of the greatest running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, you have so many good running backs that are Hall of Fame worthy, but are not going to get that Hall of Fame spot because of what they did in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Like Saquon, if he wins a ring, he'll be a Hall of Famer.
Easily.
Hopefully
That's
this year.
yeah.
I'm
yeah,
hoping.
Hopefully,
Everyone's
if
counting
he
out-
decides to play.
Everyone's counting out the Giants again, which I love because we're in the underdog story.
Have to love it.
I know, but they're saying, "Oh, we're in the trap." We're not in the trap. The front office is great.
All right, we're coming are
Everything.
going to suck this year.
Yeah.
Cowboys, I don't even know.
Cowboys
what
will
they
be
expect.
solid.
They're going to be solid, 9-18. I think we're going to be better than them. Eagles. I'm
Eagles
gonna
will
get.
win.
I hate the Eagles, but I do have to say
They lost so much though in free
But
agency.
they're gonna be. So
But they
good.
got
have
so
such a good
much in
front
free
office, and Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
You know what?
Not the top, but
I think a lot of people are not gonna like my opinion. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, they're gonna have that losing Super Bowl hangover. I think it's gonna affect the whole team in that locker room. I don't think they're bouncing back
I
from
can
this.
see it.
I think they'll still win the division. They're only gonna have 11
I'm
wins
going
this
to
year.
disagree with you on that. I think the Super Bowl is going to give them even more drive, and I think they're going to be an even more
scoring
dominant
35 points in the Super Bowl is a lot of points to lose. I mean, I don't know. I think they're gonna have a good season, not a 14-win season. Though.
No way,
No.
and definitely not starting
But
off
it's
9
not
and
gonna be
0.
very far. Like I could see being like a 12 or 13, but not a 14 again.
Dude, like, and they're
That
not,
was-
and
that
they're,
was crazy.
and they're not starting off 9 and 0 like they did this year. I think they might even lose week 1 depending on who they're
Who's
playing.
they play?
I have no idea, but like I haven't checked their schedule. All I know is that the Giants are tied. They're tied second for hardest schedule in the National Football League. But guess what? We're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna have that underdog season. Dayball is gonna be Coach of the Year again. I'm calling it back-to-back Coach of the Years, and he is going to lead this team to a Super Bowl championship.
I very much agree with that. And then let's just wrap this up with the running back thing. Do you think the impact of Saquon Barkley, if Saquon Barkley does not play this year, do we see the Giants' chemistry of the team going up or down?
Up. More motivation to win. Knowing that
Um,
he's not gonna be here, they're gonna want to win more.
I'll argue for both sides. It's going to go up because of the motivation to win without your star player, but it's also going to go down because I feel like the players are going to have that soft heart for Saquon. He's one of the pivotal leaders in the locker room, along with Sterling Shepard, who's the heart and soul of this Giants locker room. I just feel like it'll affect the players because that's like their boy, that's their homeboy off and on the field. They want him to get paid. They know he has a family to take care of. That's why he's doing this in the first place. And I just feel like that if just being a known leader in the locker room along with Sterling Shepard, they want him to get paid.
Definitely. My opinion on it is I think that the Giants' chemistry, it could be mixed, like kind of similar to what Dan said. I think it'll be up because, the motivation to drive, but I also think it'll be down because the Giants would be like just a little bit disappointed to see a figure like him just, be as ignorant and just
A leader.
see Saquon Barkley as a leader and then just to decide to just not.
Yeah, and speaking of leader, I said Sterling Shepard's the heart and soul of the locker room. Took the veterans minimum to come back on this team and lead this team.
Exactly.
And even he had an ACL tour week 1. Week 1 tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's still on the sideline.
Exactly.
Guarantee you Saquon's not doing that. He'll be at home if he even plays.
So, will the impact of Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants? Do you think the New York Giants are still going to be as successful as they were told, or as successful as they said they were going to be, without Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, I think they'll have.
Signing Darren Waller and those defensive players.
They'll have a solid season. I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say, Super Bowl or whatever, but I think 11-6 will.
Watch Daniel. I'm saying this right now, and I want to be quoted on this. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Watch Daniel Jones and Darren Waller be the top three questionable for best quarterback and tight end duo besides Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Dallas Goedert and Jalen Hurts. Watch it happen.
I think Saquon Barkley's absence is going to impact the Giants because I think the Giants have no Saquon Barkley. They're gonna either be a wild card team or miss the playoffs, and they're not going to be a good wild card team.
Saquon Barkley's
They're
not
gonna
the
be
whole team, though.
I know, but he's a very impactful player on that team. But if we have Saquon Barkley, he's going to be a playoff
There's no I in team.
Exactly. I think Saquon Barkley makes a few points, but I think for him to stay as far as like if I have to leave the team to prove my value here, I think that's just not as I think that's not a good move for him, and I think that's going to show a lot of NFL GMs where his priorities
Yeah,
are.
if I was in his situation, I would just work even harder. I would just, I would just double my yards next season or double my receptions or touchdowns. That's exactly how I would prove my worth.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap this podcast up. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you all later.